Welcome into the special edition of Goblins and Gains. No workout footage today because I tried to do some kettlebell and it did not work out for me. So today I'm going to do a first impressions look at Scarlet Heroes. Don't mind the camera work. I'm still working out the kinks on that, so eventually I will have a better setup than this. This is the first time I've had like a tripod type thing, and so we'll see how it works. Anyway, this is Scarlet Heroes. It is a OSR, basically an OSR game for solo and co-op play, or small gameplay. It is written by Kevin Crawford, and so today I'm going to be scooting stuff around and stuff, and hopefully the glare and the shadows aren't too bad, but we'll see what we can do and make this work. I've been messing on trying to get this set up for the past, half hour probably. So I'm going to go ahead and do an initial first impression. I've only read like the 10 pages of this, so I guess real quickly we will read the back cover. I'm not sure if you can read this or not. Let me see if I can zoom in without, pick this up without glare. I think you can see this, but basically it says that you can play OSR style games with single players and a game, so one-on-one. Tells you a little bit about the location setting, and then also says in this book you'll find a full standalone system designed for smooth play with old school games, allowing you to use classic modules for just one or two players without the need to rewrite the material and modify the statistics. Use it to play with your favorite adventures with friends, spouses, kids, or interested new players without the need to assemble a full group. So we'll see. See how this works out. Okay, so like I said, I have looked at the first 9 pages, but we'll see if I can get past them. And full disclosure, I'm not wearing pants right now. Okay, so basic stuff here. First page. This is kind of looks like this is kind of like a rundown of the setting of the setting that Scarlet Heroes has, and it tells you basically kind of about the system down here. So we're just going to look at the table of contents real quick, because I find that the table of contents kind of tells you a lot about a game, honestly. And you might not get into the details, but it'll tell you enough. So right here, we're rolling attributes, choosing races and classes, final touch, equipment. So this is all creating your hero. This is on page 4 to 14. And like I said, I've only, actually, so I have made it to 14 because I made it to this far, and I was like, okay, this is a really good, interesting idea. So quick character generation. I really like any kind of game like Dungeon Crawl Classics or anything like that that has quick character generation, especially if I'm going to be playing solo. Like, why do I want to pick everything? Like, I would rather just kind of explore the character and see how that works out for itself. We got playing the game, so it goes from page 17 to 25, so 8 pages describes pretty much the majority of what you're going to need to know to, yeah, it's 8 pages, right? So 16, basically 9 pages. So you got 10 pages for character creation, and you got 9 to play the game. So within, 11 pages here, within these 11 pages, I guess, you have everything you need for the startup. I have not made it this far, so I don't know. So anyway, let's go see what we got here. Well, then there's a whole section on solo gaming over here and creating adventures over here as well. So yeah, looks like there's 131 pages. Kind of getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Let's go ahead and turn the page. Okay, creating your hero. Roll your attributes. So in roll your attributes here, it says roll 4d6. I don't think you guys can see that probably, but roll 4d6. It also has old school modifiers, which I find very interesting. There is some art of the different classes and stuff down there. Choose your race. Okay, so let's see the different races. We got humans, dwarves, elves, halflings, and don't know how to pronounce this. I would say Shao or Shou. Shou. Wish they had a pronunciation. I guess it doesn't really matter. This is like the unique class of this here. So we'll read this real quick because we all know what all these are. Shao, I don't know how to pronounce this, are the hated natives of Sunset Isles, the once dominant race of the islands of the archipelago. With the coming of the human exiles 300 years ago, they have been steadily pushed back into the western wilderness, despite the occasional explosive border war and resurgence 2 centuries ago that nearly drove humanity from the Isles. While wild show are hated among all of the human lands, many of them appear nearly indistinguishable from well-formed humans, and few are able to pass without drawing notice. Other are half-Shao, born of the brutal western fighting, the offspring of Shao slaves, or the product of the few villages where Shao-blooded communities eke out the best life they can. I didn't read that correctly. Others are half-Shao, born of the western brutal fighting, the offspring of slaves, or the product of the Shao-blooded communities eke out the best lives they can. They have a natural gift of battling the red tide that encircles the Isles, and they have strong resistance to its dark magics. So, it's very interesting. I suppose maybe these. I'm not sure. Maybe these are them up here. I'm not sure, because they say they look like humans. So that's why basically I was kind of like reading it because I wanted to see what that race entailed. You choose a class. Class limits by race. So the 4 classes, which, you know what, I really appreciate this. So the 4 classes, I'll go ahead, just the 4 basics, right? You got clerics, fighters, magic users, and thieves. And then over here, it's got other classes, and it says the 4 classes here are meant to provide catch-all categories. So it's not really necessary to have a samurai class or an alchemist class, where the fighter and the magic user cover the abilities to fit the heroes. So I really, really appreciate. It goes on to say you can do what you want, like all RPGs, but I really appreciate that. I mean, I really appreciate this a lot. So this is something unique, by the way. There's something called Afraid Eye. So we'll get down. We'll see what that is really quickly. This is all basically stuff I've already seen, so I'm not really giving you a first impression. Cleric, fighter, magic user, thief. I really appreciate the random artwork here. I don't know, it's just different than a lot of stuff you've seen. This kind of looks like some basic fantasy stuff, honestly. Just kind of like how it's like a lot of white and bold lines. Choose your traits, which is something I find interesting as well. Tells you the bonus traits. Now over here, there's a summary, which, I respect that there's a summary. You can always just visit. I also like how stuff like this is grayed out because you kind of know where your eyeballs should be looking. It's got weapon and weight, just your standard stuff. Now see, like I said, the gray stuff is the stuff should be getting your attention. There's your rate of exchange. So that's some stuff that you'll be looking for sometimes randomly, right? Okay, so here's the quick character generation. So I guess you roll 1d20 and it tells you. So you only got a 5% chance of being an elf. Like, I like that. 5% chance of being an elf, and then the elf cannot be a cleric. Okay. So that's pretty interesting. I really enjoy this. So now here, let's look at the so this section down here. So this is kind of like I don't know how these are broken up. I haven't taken time to see. So it's every 3. So it's I don't know, like 30 some per I guess, class. And then there's innate and then relationships. So this is like kind of like traits, but it's kind of like jobs. Because see, the magic user here, he's astrologer, you know. Thief's acrobat. These are just some locksmith. Slave gladiator. So this is kind of like DCC, but they're like specific. It's not a catch-all for like whenever you're making your funnel. I think this is actually really cool. I kind of want to steal it because like it's just you do this separate. You do the race separate from the background. Here's your character sheet. Personally, I know some people really love character sheets. I'm not big on them. I really just enjoy having a notebook and just give me a notebook and I can write down a character sheet. I don't really need these. For me personally, honestly, if I like to sit down with a group of people and just give them a notebook, and then they can do their own character sheet. I just tell them what they need to know. Playing the game. Now, to say, like I said, this is where I like to go, right? Grognards read this note. And it basically goes on to say that even though you might think you know what's going on here, you don't. Because, for instance, damage rolls. Damage rolls are very different. So when you roll your damage, say you have a D6 for your damage die, which clerics can only have up to a D6 with a damage die. I guess I need to go back and talk about that for a second, but so say if you have 3d6, you're rolling 3d6 for your damage. Well, if you roll a 1 on your d6, it does no damage. If you roll a 2 to the 5, it does 1 point. If you roll a 6, it does 2 points of damage. And then if you roll up to a 10, it does 4 points of damage. So like I said, like this here, if you roll 4d6, it goes from 0 to 8 points. So the max you can roll is 8 points of damage, minimum 0. If you roll 3d12, it goes from 0 to 12 points because 10 does 4 points, 3 times 4 is 12. So I think this is really interesting. So I think I need to go back really quickly because I need to talk about, here we go. So these little quick cheat charts here. So weapons allowed for the cleric. Any but limited to 1d6 damage. Okay? And so we go up here. It says clerics can wear any armor and wield any weapon, but they do not fight as skillfully as fighters or thieves do, and so their max damage is limited to 1d6. So if they swing a battle axe that normally does 1d8, instead they'll do 1d6 damage. So I guess quickly I'll just show you. Sorry about the motion sickness. Weapons allowed any, so they can do the max damage fighters can. Clerics, weapons allowed any, so they can use it, but they only can do 1d4 damage because they're not as good fighters. Okay, and then thieves, interesting. So this is a little different. Thieves have any, but are limited to 1d8 damage, so they can finesse a little bit better. So this is a little bit different, like than some stuff you've seen before. Okay. So I think, like, as far as a first impression goes, like, I'm very impressed with this. I'll show you some of this artwork, I guess, real quick. I think that's really cool. I'm not going to give you a review of this game because I'm not really dove super in depth with it yet. But, like, this is really cool. Like, down here, it's got how fast you can travel, the cost of different things of boats. Like, I know that's in all OSR stuff, but, like, for a solo game, this is pretty cool, you know? There's a quick reference guide over here. I'm just going to kind of blow through this real quick because I'm in the spell section now. However, I really do appreciate the artwork. I really do. Monsters. I kind of want to get to the solo section real quick. I'm not sure where that's at, but I'm in the, there's the treasures. Here's an optional rule. I'm a big fan of optional rules, just in general. I'm a big fan. It's being put in books. And then there, I guess this is I'm not sure if this is a random chart. Yeah, this is a random chart over here. This is individual treasure generator, magic item generator, magical rings, magical armor, magical weapons. So this is really cool. Creating adventures, which I think needs to be in every book, but I'm not going to review this. I just kind of want to sandboxes. I already have a lot of big appreciation for that. The golden rule of preparation. Before you create something, ask yourself whether you'll need it for your next gaming session. If the answer is no, ask yourself if you're having fun creating it. If the answer is also no, stop working on it. That's probably a really, I really enjoy this 2 sentences, I guess. A couple sentences. 2, 3. Because this is how I feel. This is the truth for me. I haven't read this the first time I've read it, and I enjoy that quite a bit. Let's see here. Adventure tag. So I guess this is like random stuff here. You can just like, okay, so you want a wilderness. First off, I was going to do wilderness, but let's talk about this. Urban adventures, angry ghosts. How cool is that? Renegade Ninja. Where's that at? I just seen it. Renegade Ninja. Dungeon. Let's do a dungeon adventure. What is the dungeon tag? Honey Trap. Interesting. Slow Poison. I enjoy this stuff. Like I said, this is just a first impression, and I am kind of blowing through this for the sake of time. I'm coming up on 20 minutes of me just kind of rambling. Awesome. Check this out. This is awesome. Quick NPC generator, character name generator. So solo gaming, this is the part I wanted to see. 3 kinds of adventures, imagination and oracles, threat level, running the adventure after the adventure. General oracles, yes or no. The but, so yes but, no but. How far away is the thing? This is pretty cool. This is the first time I've seen this. What's the weather like? This is huge. Okay, oracles, oracle. I don't have oracular. Adjectives and motivations. If you ever need something like that, I suppose. Which you probably will. Like I plan on running this as a co-op game. Actors and NPCs. So this is a commoner. 1, 2. So you roll a D8 plus a D10 and you get your thing. So it could be a drunken sailor, or it could be a foreign diplomat, or it could be a knife slinging gambler. Pretty cool. Reaction rolls. That's really cool. I think this is underrated in most gaming. Hardly anybody talks about the reaction roll, and in modern gaming, it's not there. And since I've started running 5e again, I've stolen a lot from like reaction rolls and morale, and just basically general like making random encounters and not caring about challenge rating. So like, I don't know. I think this is really good. Traits, temperament, desires. Traits, gaudy jewelry. This is just kind of painting a picture, I suppose. Lazy, getting drunk. Urban adventures. Sequence of play, scenes, challenges, tactical consequences, and heat. Okay, that's interesting. So chase automatically talks about chase. Sample crimes. So this is plots and crimes over here. Pretty cool. So I guess this is if you want to be a thief and you want to run thief stuff. So more random charts for that. Wilderness adventures. The map, sequence of play. Moving into a new hex, I like that. Determining its terrain type. So this is like for if like you don't even like know anything about it. Check for encounters and events. Check for features. Just supplies. So automatically it's talking about you need to be thinking about supplies, which I run my games like this, so that's really cool. Resolving encounters. Okay. Terrain types, types of features, feature details. wilderness events, dungeon adventures. So I'm assuming this is like more of the same stuff here that can kind of give you an idea. And we're at the end of the book now. Oh wow, and it gives you an example of solo play, so it teaches you how to play this. So as a first impression of this book, so that's all. First impression of this book, honestly, it brought a lot more than I expected. For me personally, I will buy a book and never use it, but I'll be okay with owning it just because I want to know what's in it. So that's kind of like what I was doing with this book. This was a gift, and I was talking a lot about it, but I was actually never going to buy it. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad that it was gifted to me by my wife, and we'll probably run a co-op game with it. First impression, I give it the first impression. I'm not really that good at a rating. Usefulness, I mean, over half, so maybe 60%. So 6 out of 10 is my first impression. Maybe a 7 out of 10 for a first impression. I'll let you know after I play a few games how I feel about it, if that changed or anything like that. I'll work on getting a better camera. But anyway, yeah, check it out. I'll see you guys later.